From those that brought you Leprechaun Origins comes Final Destination 6 Bloodlines.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time, like well over a decade. I was
Yeah.
a young man the last time we watched the bridge collapse and that guy get covered in the hot oil.
I didn't have gray in my beard at the time.
Yeah, I had hair. Oh, no! But I'm glad to say that we are about to gush all over Final Destination Bloodlines.
What a time.
Get gush like blood. I've been waiting on that. But we will be doing a small review, scoring it, and then we'll probably go right into a spoiler review. But for the first couple of minutes of this video, you have absolutely nothing to worry about, and then you can come back and watch the rest after you've gone and watched this spectacular masterpiece.
I agree with you. I think it's the best one personally.
I would also say it's like finally I was watching it and I was like, finally the tone of the movie has matched how stupid the premise is.
Yeah, it's death as a killer.
Yeah.
Like death is the mass killer the whole time.
I know, it's like Final Destination 1 is like, it's funny because it takes itself too seriously.
Yes.
2, same. 3, it starts to get like, okay, let's put on Roller Coaster of Love
Yeah.
while they get burned in the tan beds and the funny transitions. And then, 4 is not very good, and then 5 is solid. But this one is downright hilarious.
Yes.
And it's really bloody, and it was just a spectacular time.
It might have been. It's probably the hardest I've laughed in theaters in a long time.
Yes, probably since Game Night was the last time I laughed this much.
It is an amazing horror comedy film that has really good effects in it. There's some really good kills in this movie, which there should be. It's Final Destination. That's kind of what you go into these movies expecting, and they deliver.
Yeah, I thought that with all the kills, it was like the CG and the composites with its real effects. If there really are any, but like, I was like, oh, this is gonna age well.
Yeah, it will. There's one kill in the movie that I think will age pretty poorly, but the rest of them are pretty top tier.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed it. And the best thing about this movie, the trailer doesn't ruin anything.
The trailer really
It doesn't ruin anything for
I know.
you. There's so much for you there.
When I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, cool. We've got 2 major kills ruined, maybe? Question mark? I'll leave it up to you to see whenever you go watch the movie.
Yeah.
But we have a fun. Every Final Destination does a really good job with doing a small thing to keep the premise fresh. You have the first one that just sets it up. The second one kind of continues that order. The third one uses the pictures.
Yep.
And then the fourth one just keeps the premonitions coming like constantly.
Yep. And then the 5th one is the one where they add the if you kill somebody you get their time. Correct.
I guess
is that 5?
I've only seen 5 once, but I'm definitely gonna go back and watch it probably this
because
weekend.
if I remember correctly, I know this movie's old, but spoilers for an older Final Destination. I think 5 is the one that takes place before 1, if I remember correctly.
It's like some kind of origins thing. Yeah,
I think that's 5,
Yeah.
which is a good movie. Like
Yeah.
that one's very solid.
And, but then this one has a really nice, like, interesting Bloodlines gimmick, obviously. And you can, if you have seen the trailers, you may know that the movie's premise is that a big tragedy happens on a skyscraper or a sky tower restaurant. Yep. And that's our setup. And everyone is saved, as they do in Final Destination. But that bloodline, the blood lineage of the survivors, eventually have to pay the price. And so here we are 50 years later in 2025, and the children of the survivors have now are going to have to come to grips with death stalking them.
Which is very well done in this movie. It's so cheesy, but it's so cheesy that it works.
Yeah.
This whole film, I kept expecting there to be a moment to where I thought, this is it. This is a moment to where this idea has gotten too ridiculous. There's no way it'll work. And I didn't, because it makes you laugh the whole time. So you don't think about that.
Yeah, our characters are all played by nobody that I recognize.
Yeah, there's only one person in here that you'll recognize, and that's Tony Todd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you meet him, and one of the best parts about Final Destination is it'll squeeze in characters that it's like, oh, I can't wait to see that douchebag die. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And it does have those characters, and then it has characters that start as douchebags, and then it's like, oh,
they're super sweet. Yeah. There is one at the very beginning of the movie that is such an a-hole that dies in such a great way.
Yes, they're incredibly creative, and like I said, I was really watching the CGI, and I was like looking for some kind of transitional line in the edit, which is hard to catch on a first watch, but it'll be fun to rewatch this and try to see where the transition between CGI and their practical, whatever they do to make blood and heads and bodies pop, right? But what did you think as far as, I guess the one thing we can talk about is everybody knows that's at least in the trailer that at the beginning, the tower collapses and explodes. How would you pop that into like the overall rankings of Final Destination set piece starts?
2 will always be the best.
Yeah.
Let's be real. 2's opening will always be the best. I think this is second place.
I would say it's second place as well. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I thought whenever I was watching it, I thought it was cool because it's a longer lead up than any of the other openings. Like this one takes a while, whereas 2, it's 5 minutes in, you already got everything you wanted, and you're getting into the main meat and potatoes of the film.
Yeah, and you know, a pregnant lady obviously is at stake here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's more terrifying.
Whereas with this one, it's a good like 10 to 15 to really kind of cook out everything that happens, and there's reasons for it.
Yeah,
like it makes sense on why they do it. But I definitely, whenever it starts going, it starts going in this one, and that's why it's 2. But it's number 2 by like half a point.
Yeah, and I think it's because it does set up like sweet, endearing character development.
It really makes you care for Iris.
Yeah.
It makes you feel bad for Iris and what all happens, and the little boy that's with her as well that you find out about later on.
Yeah. I had voiced to Grayson before, and I was like, I'm kind of nervous to watch this because I'm older, and I don't like... I was telling him after like A Quiet Place, I don't like seeing a nail pop up and then waiting 30 minutes for that nail to come back. But the movie is so hilarious. The tension is funny.
Yes, it is.
Like you're seeing a piece of glass fall into the ice, and instead of being like, ugh, you're like, oh man, that's gonna get somebody, and it makes a more enjoyable experience instead of there is tension in it, right?
Oh yeah, a lot.
But the movie is so ham-fisted in the way it approaches itself. It's so perfect.
Yeah, it really is. And I know it sounds ridiculous that we could say that about a Final Destination movie, but it's that good. Like, genuinely, it's that much fun.
I think the premise alone is more mystery unravels from the premise than you would think as well.
Yes.
So it is going to keep you kind of guessing towards the end. And I was very, like, I went and I was like, oh, cool. They got some established directors to make this one.
Not really, no. It's done by 2 people. It is directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein. And they worked on Leprechaun Origins, and they've done a couple episodes of Fraggle Rock.
And they did the Dead Rising.
Watchtower.
They did the Dead Rising.
Yeah, so to see this group, like these 2 people come from where they were to where they are now, like that's amazing. Like they are definitely climbing up.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Freaks got them the job, but they sure as hell are established now, aren't they?
Yeah, they had Fraggle Rock episodes, a Kim Possible TV movie they did. They had Freaks. They did something called Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion.
So yeah, but to get back up and to wrap the review, you should go see Final Destination Bloodlines.
Take a big group with you. This is a fun group movie. You will have so many oh man, I can't believe that happened, and watching the crowd. Like, I hope this movie gets packed over the weekend, because it should be. It's a very fun movie.
I think it'll be a really good experience. You want a row of people next to you so you can hear them laughing and having a good time. Book the fullest theater you can, because everybody. I think I probably laughed more than a lot of people, but we weren't in a packed theater either.
That was what was sad. I did want to bring that up. Whatever Shaun and I went and saw this last night, there might have been 15 people max in the theater.
It was really, really rough.
So I hope that was just because it was a Thursday night. I hope the later our showings packed up, and now that it's a weekend, I hope it fills up more.
Or is it too late?
It might be. I hope it's not, because this is legitimately the best Final Destination movie that I have watched.
Yes, I would also say it is the best high-quality Final Destination. I will venture, just because no Final Destination will ever be a 10, I'll give it a 9.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
For me, a 10 has to be the perfect film. And while this is a perfect Final Destination movie, I can't justify myself giving it a 10, but it is for sure a 9.
Yes, AKA it is as good as a Final Destination film can get. And for the sake of the video, make sure and like and subscribe. Go to patreon.com/hangtime to support horror content like this. And let's segue into our spoiler cast.
Okay.
And let's talk some kills real quick.
Yeah, let's do that real
bit.
fast.
How much did you love in this movie that you didn't know who was gonna die because of the format of the kills? You have your two main characters that you know aren't going to, but the order of the other ones was a lot of fun, especially since the trailer shows what you think is going to be a kill of one of the characters. So having to wait even longer for said character and then tease you even more because they knew he was in the trailer. And also give you the illusion that he's going to be safe because he's not a blood relative.
Yeah, it's so much fun. But it was so clever that they were able to pull that off, because at one point I was thinking he was going to take over as one of the main characters because he's no longer a part of the bloodline.
Transition him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have he's like a really sweet, good brother.
Yeah, just dumb.
He's a stepbrother too.
He's a stepbrother that's still taking care of his brother who has a peanut allergy and making sure that nothing is around him.
Yeah, the peanut allergy was like a really clever way of doing if you flatline, you're safe.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt my favorite, there are so many deaths in this that were like spectacular.
Yeah.
The elevator at the beginning, when
that one was good.
When the maitre d' gets caught like halfway between an elevator and the elevator falls, and it strips him in half because he's caught in the door, and then the rest of his body like gets pulled down hard, and then it splats into this.
The sound effect that it makes is perfection.
Yeah, that was spectacular. I loved the sequence with the garbage truck as well, because after the brother survives the tattoo shop, he's basically teasing Death and our lead that like they're just walking through and she sees the tree trimmer and then the leaf blower and the kids playing soccer and the garbage truck, and then to catch the sister like in the background.
It's so good because she says everything that's gonna happen. And in your head while you're watching it, you think, it might happen that way. We'll see how they play it out. Because the whole time you're expecting the brother to get killed.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it happens exactly like she says it, and you can't help but laugh.
Yeah.
It is the funniest thing ever to watch happen in the background.
And you hear the ball ricochet up her head. And the garbage truck kill is so clever to have her obviously try to get out of it so you can see her instead of you can see the action. But that head pop with the CG was like really well done.
It is. That's the only one that I wonder how it's gonna look. I think it's gonna be like Drag Me to Hell, at the end whenever she's being drugged into hell.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like that in the next couple of years. Like the CGI will look fine, but it is one of those, man, I wish it kind of would have been practical because it would have looked a little cooler. But that's the only death in the movie that I think might look a little rough in like 15 years.
Yeah. What were
That's
you?
15 years.
How much did you love the MRI?
That is, man, that might be my favorite Final Destination kill so far.
I think so too. There's a scene where an MRI machine gets turned on and our character gets stuck between the machine and the MRI machine goes into hyperdrive for some reason.
It's awesome. It is the most ridiculous way to make it go into hyperdrive because a cell phone slaps against the control panel, which makes the whole MRI machine go crazy.
Yeah, and it reminded me of the Mangler.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
And one of our characters gets trapped between a wheelchair and the opening of the MRI machine, and it is funny because you see the hole earlier in the movie and you're like, somebody's getting pulled into the wrong direction.
Yep.
I thought somebody was just going to get folded backwards.
I did too.
Right? But then they use this wheelchair as a way, and the wheelchair disintegrates as it's getting pulled, and so spikes and barbs are like going through his stomach, and he's got a skull tattoo on himself, so it's like a reference to like the last Final Fantasy with the rebar, or Final Destination,
yeah,
with the rebar coming through his face. Oh my god, that was so funny. I know in our review we say it's perfect. I guess if I had to pick any qualms with it, it's that there is a little bit of fall off in location from the hospital to the survival cabin.
Yeah.
At the end, mostly because the cabin's not as an interesting location as the hospital. But I love how the mom has lived in a survival cabin for that long and has literally surrounded herself with spikes and rusted metal.
It is the funniest safe place from death ever.
Yeah, it's like putting a bunch of nails and screws in a baby's playpen. Like, I don't understand. Like, she's got this compound to protect herself, but it's just like there's gas tanks and a pool of water there for no good reason and spiked poles.
Yep.
Gabriel Rose plays old Iris, and she's hilarious.
She is. My favorite thing about old Iris is it's almost doing the same trope as Halloween 2018 did. Iris is the fed up like survivor from a killer, and it's so funny because she's talking trash to death the whole time they're doing an interview with her.
Yeah, she actually like perceives death as that person.
Yes.
So it's like an old fickle friend. That
It is. Yeah, it's so much.
It's
fun.
like this is the only person she's had to talk to the whole time. So, and I love the fact that she's like, seeing is believing. It's so disgusting. The yard scene was really good, and I love the like the rake as a MacGuffin, just like they did with the brother being a MacGuffin, like under the trampoline, because I'm like, I don't want to see that. I really don't. And then she's like, wait, and she pulls the rake out, and it's like, yes. But then the rake gets him anyway because it starts a lawnmower.
Sure does.
Oh my god, in heaven. What were your thoughts on the ending? I
liked it
with the reference.
Are you talking about with the logs?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, that was so
because
good.
they knew what they were doing. They know. Everybody knows that Final Destination 2 is the most popular Final Destination. So bringing back the logs and having them, take out the last two is hilarious. And it's cool because I brought this up on the ride home. There's not many Final Destination movies to where someone other than Tony Todd survives.
Yeah.
There's one, and that's Final Destination 2, because Ali Larter's character carries over. Other than that,
what was it about Ali Larter that made her survive in Final Destination 2?
They put her in that padded room, remember? Because they meet up with her, because she's in that padded room to where nothing can hurt her in there.
Oh no. It's the worst.
Yeah, but she did that because she's safe that way. And then they talk about how Devon Sawa's character died because a brick, I think, fell out of a building. And
and that kind of sucked. But they didn't
yeah.
know what was happening.
No, they had no clue. But it does suck to know that his character died off screen in a Final Destination film.
Yeah. I love how quickly our lead character, Stephanie, is just like, golly. Stephanie is like, okay, I'm just not going back to college.
it is definitely I'm on probation. I'm never going back. I'm done.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I guess her academic career is over.
Top of her class. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm never going back. But yeah, let's see, what else was there? The penny was interesting as like a plot device because the penny starts the tower and then the penny causes the final kill at the end. Yeah, I was trying to think if that was a reference to something else, but I couldn't think of another Final Destination where he used a tool through the whole movie. Death, I mean.
Besides wind. Like, honestly, wind is always the
indicator
that death is there.
Yeah.
I did like how they linked in Tony Todd's character at the beginning of Bloodlines. How he always knows so much about death. It's because of Iris. Like, I think that's really cool that they gave that to his character.
Yeah, I was thinking in the movie, I was thinking about how gullible I am when it comes to movies and not making links because I just get so lost in what's happening.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw the kid, I went, oh yeah, that's Tony Todd.
Yeah, I was, and so but by the end of the movie, it's like it does everything to show you. And I'm like, I went over to Grayson. That's the moment.
I was like, yeah, I know.
I know, yeah, that's him. But I will say that Tony Todd has like this super sweet moment where he talks about like living your best life, and he's obviously affected by his illness. But they put like a really sweet crescendo as like a little nod to him, and he almost got a little emotional.
Yeah, I almost cried because, you know, watching him, he was in a movie called Stream before this, and seeing how different he looks from Stream to this, you could see how sick Tony was. And that's really sad.
Yeah, and you could tell, and I don't know, just his delivery, it was like he knew that this was the last movie he was going to be making. So it's a little bit of a rough watch.
It is, but they do give him like a really beautiful, like you said, crescendo, and having him go off screen and making him still the character as well.
And like, still alive as well, right? So, but yeah, it was great.
Do you think because remember at the beginning he's playing with a train?
Yeah.
Do you think that was like linking in?
I do think that was a nod to how the movie ends with the big train derailment. Man, there's a shot where they're running away from the train, and I was just immediately thinking of Wrongfully Accused.
Oh, when he's running, I know.
And the train's following him,
and just peeking from the tree.
Yeah, that's why I laughed so hard, because I was thinking about the train like actively chasing them down the street. But has there been a train derailment? Would be a really good.
They've had a death with a train in one because it hits the metal and cuts
Sean William Scott. Oh man, when he was,
that's a cool hit or kill too.
That is, and that would be a cool derailment. But maybe we'll do a video of us ranking all of the Final Destinations and watching them or something.
It would be a really fun watch since this one just came out, running through all 6 of them again and just seeing how well some of them stand up. Because I want to watch 3 again. That's the one I've only seen once.
Oh, really?
So I want to go back and watch it.
I had 3 on DVD, and I watched it on my PS2 all the time. And there were boobies in it.
3 is the one with the weightlifting guy, right?
Yeah, his name is Texas Battle.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then I think 4 is the swimming pool, correct? When the guy gets stuck on the suction thing in the swimming pool.
I couldn't tell you if that was 4 or 5.
Oh, that's a lucky coin, because he goes in trying to find the lucky coin.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
It's not a penny, but it's a coin.
Yeah, I watched the NASCAR one because that one has the escalator scene.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Is that the Final Destination?
Yeah, that's the Final No. Yeah, and then Final Destination 5 is the bridge.
Prequel, yeah. What's that one's good too?
The bridge is really solid. I don't remember any kills from 5 besides the bridge. I'm sure once I start watching
they'll just kind of jog our memory. The NASCAR one's the weirdest one to me.
Yeah, it's not very good. But everybody go check out Final Destination Bloodlines. Go support good, fun horror movies.
Yes, there needs to be more horror out there like this, because it is the pack the theater, bring everybody with you, have a blast, and get some pretty decent jump scares. Like there's a couple in there.
Yeah. Yeah. But make sure and like and subscribe to the video. Leave a comment below with your favorite Final Destination death, and we'll make sure and reply and have conversations down in the comments below. You have a spectacular day, and go check out our Final Destination 2 Scene Autopsy that you can watch right here.
Right there. Look at that. Right there over his hands.
It's right there.
It's right there over my face now. I'm getting Mike Wazowski'd.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.